I also want to thank all the actors and actresses for memorizing the lines and helping the characters to come alive. So. I also want to thank all the backstage members for the props and the lights and making the play look really, really good. So. And one more final thank you. I want to thank my mom and dad. They're in the audience somewhere, so clap it up for them. Wherever you are. And also after the play ends, we're going to be doing pictures. All the crew, the backstage members, and the actors are going to be in the middle of the stage. So if you want to take pictures, you can do that. And yeah, enjoy the play.
I sent the nurse to Wilson's, and I was expecting her back by now. You can never tell with nurses because sometimes they can be so slow. Oh, I hope I did right in sending her, when she really ought to be here looking after you, Grandma Huddle. But I've had such a headache all day, and I'm fresh out of headache drops. I didn't think it would matter if she went since it was your nap time. But I really need those headache drops, or I'll never be able to take a little nap myself before dinner. But it looks like you're having a nice little nap yourself, Grandma Huddle. Although that nurse should be back by now, don't you think? I'll say I shouldn't disrupt you, because you need to rest and I need my headache drops, so I'll just leave you in peace and go downstairs and wait for the nurse. Enjoy sleep, Grandma Huddle, and don't mind me a bit. Grandma Huddle, I do hope you aren't upset with me for sending the nurse to Wilson's, because if you get cross with me, then Duncan gets angry with me. Because he says we have to keep on your good side all the time because of the money. But I want to be on your good side all the time, Grandma Huddle, because you're my only living grandma, and ever since Mom died, you were like a mother to me, even though you're my grandma and not my mama. So please don't be upset with me over the nurse, because you really don't need her right now if you're napping. And I'll just leave you in peace and tiptoe away. Grandma Huddle, I can tell you're upset with me, because you are giving me the silent treatment, and it always makes me feel so bad when you do that. So please say you aren't upset with me. Please? Grandma Huddle, it's me, your granddaughter Agnes. Are you sleeping? How come you aren't snoring like you usually do? Oh! Oh my gracious goodness! Duncan! Duncan!
Could it be finally after all these years? Seems dead to me, quite dead.
Poor Grandma Huddle.
I mean, rich Grandma Huddle. Where's the nurse?
I sent her to Wilson. She'll be back any moment.
It doesn't matter. Send Daisy too.
It's Daisy's afternoon off. Oh, Duncan, what do we do?
Control yourself, Agnes, and just do as I said. Go fetch the doctor right away.
But if Grandma Huddle is dead, I don't think Dr. Witherspoon can do much for her.
We need the doctor around the death certificate, and while you're on,
You'll stay here and look after Grandma Huddle? That's very sweet of you, Duncan.
Will you listen to me, Agnes? While you're on, I'll be looking for your grandmother's will. Where do you think she keeps it?
I don't know, Duncan. Would Mr. Finsbury have it? He's her lawyer.
But she must have a copy in her house. Where do you think it is?
She keeps all of her important papers in her writing desk in the parlor.
Writing desk, perfect. You go look for the writing desk, and you fetch the doctor.
All right, Duncan. Poor Grandma Huddle.
Poor Grandma Huddle indeed. I've been waiting for this for years, old girl. You better have done right by your only granddaughter, or else.
Eleanor? 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 There you are. The front door is open. There's no one downstairs, so I just came on up. I had my trouble on the steps, though. It seems I left the house wearing my reading glasses instead of my regular specs. But no matter. I went to see you, Eleanor. Do you know what today is? But don't play cool with me. It's the 15th. You told me you had your answer by the 15th. Don't you remember? I certainly have not forgotten. Well, you said the 15th, and today's the 15th, so... Oh, Eleanor, don't greet my sincere proposal of marriage with such a cold silence and such a cold hand. But no matter. Warm or cold, this is the hand I wish to take in marriage, so give your dear hand your answer. I've been patient, Eleanor. I've asked this more than once. But you said the 15th, and today's the 15th, so... Eleanor, me and Lois is getting any younger, so let's enjoy the years we have ahead of us.
Duncan!
That sounds like your granddaughter.
Duncan!
Agnes, Mr. Crick is not here. It's just your grandmother and I, so if you'll leave the two of us alone.
Oh, Mr. Finsbury, I didn't mean to interrupt. I had no idea you were here. My, how quickly the news travels. I know how much you cared for Grandma Huddle. I'm so sorry.
Sorry? She hasn't said no yet. Have you, my sweet?
I know you'd like to pay your respects in private, so I'll leave you be until Dr. Witherspoon gets you to fill out the death certificate.
Death certificate?
I can't find that blasted will anywhere.
It wasn't in her writing desk?
No, it wasn't in her writing desk.
When? How?
There's nothing in there but her diary, old Valentine's cards, and album minutes from her Ladies' Letter Society meetings.
Mr. Crick, I don't understand.
I suppose I can go through personal things in her closet, but it seems so inappropriate with Grandma Huddle just lying there and they're not even cold yet.
Cold.
Wait a minute, we don't need to find the will. Mr. Finsbury has a copy in his office, don't you, Mr. Finsbury?
Eleanor's gone,
Yes, but her money is still in this world, and we'd like to find out who gets it.
but it's the 15th.
Indeed it is, Mr. Finsbury. A very good day to have the will read and the death certificate signed. Where's it out there?
His housekeeper, Miss Grovemeyer, said he had to go all the way to Centerville and wouldn't be back for at least an hour.
That gives enough time to go with you, Mr. Finsbury, to your office and look for that will.
She's dead.
And therefore, Laura, you don't catch on very fast, do you?
Duncan, I think he's in shock, and everyone knows Mr. Finsbury has a bad heart, so please be gentle with him.
Mr. Finsbury, it is true that Miss Tuttle is gone from this world and singing and dancing in the next. Isn't that nice?
She had a sweet singing voice. I sat behind her in church.
You're right, Mr. Finsbury. Grandma Huddle had a very lovely voice, especially before she got her false teeth.
Agnes, let me handle this.
Mr. Crick, you sang like an angel.
Exactly my point, Mr. Finsbury. Now that Miss Tuttle is done that heavily choir, I think it's a good time to take a stroll to your office and...
Eleanor could also dance. Back in the old days, we used to waltz at the annual cotillion.
I've heard stories, Mr. Finsbury. They say when Grandma Huddle danced, her feet hardly touched the ground. Of course, that was before she got the bunions on her feet.
Agnes,
I can't believe she's gone.
gone from this world, but singing and dancing in the next. Now we need to take a look at that will.
Will?
Yes, Mr. Finsbury. Grandma Huddle's will.
I'm her lawyer. I know all about her will.
That's what we've been trying to find out.
We don't need to go to my office. I know exactly what it says.
You do?
Did you hear that, Duncan?
Mr. Finsbury, I hope Grandma Huddle has been generous to her favorite granddaughter.
Duncan, I'm Grandma Huddle's only granddaughter.
I believe dear Eleanor's more than just to you, Agnes. She left you $2,000.
Oh my!
$2,000 is nice, but what else?
I don't understand.
Miss Hall had a lot more than that. Plus her house, her 3 carriages, her 2 horses, her jewelry.
And don't forget a collection of birds, Duncan.
Last stuff break. What about the rest?
Oh, you mean the estate.
Yes, it's safe.
That'll go to her cousin, Flora Kipling.
What?
Eleanor was very fond of her cousin, Flora.
She was. Poor sweet Flora.
Poor sweet Flora is now rich sweet Flora. How'd she use that?
Eleanor always felt sorry for her cousin, a spinster with limited means.
She's old.
And sickly. Something to do with her tonsils, I believe.
What's an old woman with chronic tonsillitis with all that money?
Eleanor thought of her cousin's age when she made out her will, so there's a codicil that says if cousin Flora dies before she did, the whole estate goes to Agnes.
What happens to the money that goes for her after she passes? Who does she leave to?
Oh, I can't tell you that, Mr. Crick. Only her lawyer can divulge that information.
But you must be cousin Flora's lawyer, Mr. Finsbury.
You're the only lawyer in the whole town.
That's true. I hadn't thought of that.
So what happens to the money?
As I recall, a third of it goes to her housekeeper, Miss Sturgis. The other 2/3 go to her church and various charities.
How sweet.
It's not sweet, Agnes. It's a disaster. You know how long we've been waiting for that money?
Ever since we got married.
Even before that.
I take it Flora Kipling's alive and well.
I saw her being pushed in a wheelchair weeks back, and she looked fairly well, except for her tonsils.
A disaster.
But Duncan, dear, I'm getting $2,000. We can buy a house of our own.
We'll have to. Cousin Flora on this one. No more free room and board for us. Why? I'll have to go and get a job.
Well, I best be going over to see Miss Kipling and give her the good news. Oh, I mean the bad news about her cousin. Farewell, Eleanor, and to think we almost knew the joy of wedded bliss.
What?
Yes, Agnes. Just today I proposed to your grandmother. Again.
What did she say?
Alas, she gave me the cold shoulder.
Oh, poor Mr. Finsbury.
Miss Finsbury, I'm coming with you to Miss Kipling's house.
Whatever for, Duncan.
Maybe we can reason with the little girl. Make her realize we've been left high and dry. If that doesn't work, maybe we can get on her list of charities. Come on, Miss Finsbury.
Farewell, Agnes. Try not to take this too hard. Is your dear grandmother like this? Goodbye, Miss Love of my life.
Stay for the funeral. Let's go.
But Duncan, what should I do?
Fire the nursing star back.
What a distressing day. I had an engagement ring already to give her. Curse these reading glasses.
Engagement ring? I think Grandma Huddle was too old to get married again. And her health wasn't very good, to say the least. Oh, but poor Mr. Finsbury, with him in a bad heart and all. Oh, my headache has gotten much worse. I do believe that nurse has been run over by a horsey buggy or some other unfortunate thing has happened. I think I'll get my hat and purse and go to Wilson's myself. You just stay there, Grandma Huddle, and I'll be back before you know it.
Oh me, oh my, I don't know what to think of these roses. So pitiful. I think that's enough fresh air, Isabel. You best bring Miss Kipling inside now. How was she, Isabel?
Perfectly quiet, Miss Sturgis.
I do hope she didn't ask you to fetch her any more roses.
No.
Oh, I'm so relieved. There are precious few left with her wanting to fill the house with roses all the time. These have seen their days, I'm afraid. Take it, toss them out, then wash the vase.
Yes, ma'am.
I got your nice glass of cold water, Miss Flora. I know how you like a nice drink of cold water after one of your rides around the garden. Not thirsty? All right, I know how to take no for an answer. How about a nice cup of tea then? I know how you like a cup of tea in the middle of the afternoon. Though, oh me oh my, I don't know what to think of that new girl. Do we trust her to make a decent pot of tea? Isabel means well, but she has a lot to learn. Maybe we could have paid that Parker girl a little more each week and she wouldn't have left us. Oh, I know what you're going to say. We can't afford to pay more. That's true enough, I suppose. Well, if you want to, I'll go and make it myself. What do you say to that, Miss Flora? Miss Flora, you haven't drifted off to sleep again, have you? You just woke from your nap 10 minutes ago. Miss Flora. Miss Flora. Oh, me, oh my, what have you gone and done? Isabel! Isabel!
Yes, ma'am?
Go and fetch Dr. Witherspoon right away.
Don't bother, he's not home.
Lucille?
The doctor, ma'am? It's alright, dear, you just run along. But a doctor.
Oh, me, oh my, I don't know what to do.
You just do as I say, dear. Ma'am?
I suppose you should do as Miss Grosmeyer says.
Yes, ma'am. Have I got news for you, Ma?
Oh, but I have news for you, Lucille.
She's dead! Who's dead?
Miss Flora, how did you know?
I didn't. I came to tell you Eleanor Huddle is dead.
She is?
Her granddaughter Agnes came looking for the doctor.
So, Eleanor is sick then?
No, dead. Agnes wanted Dr. Witherspoon to fill out a death certificate, but he's in Centerville and
Oh, me, oh my, I don't know what to think. Lucille, when did Eleanor Hull die?
within the hours, my guess. I came over as soon as Agnes left. Does it matter?
Oh, but it certainly does. Miss Flora inherits Eleanor Huddle's money when Eleanor dies. Miss Flora will be a very rich woman.
And I'm sure Miss Flora will be very generous to you after all these years.
But if Miss Flora dies before Eleanor does, all the money goes to her granddaughter Agnes.
You don't say.
Oh, but I did.
How did you find this out?
Old Henry Finsbury told me last Christmas after I had one too many glasses of wine punch.
So, if Miss Flora dies first,
I will only get what Miss Flora left me, which is painful next to nothing.
how did you find this out?
Oh, me, oh my, I don't know how to tell you.
Tell me.
I just happened to stumble across her will last month. I get her rabbit fur coat, her collection of porcelain thimbles, and 1/3 of her money. The church and some charities for the other 2/3.
How long has Miss Flora been dead?
Oh me, oh my, I don't know. The last time I saw her breathing was before Isabel took her for a ride around the garden. Now look at her. Oh dear, what is it now, Isabel? Can't you see Miss Grosmeyer and I are busy?
Busy talking with Miss Flora.
What?
But Mr. Finsbury is here. Mr. Kirk is with them. Then let's pick up Miss Flora.
Oh, but they
Oh,
can't.
but they can, Maud. Miss Flora has just asked us if we can have another turn around the garden.
She has?
Of course she has. Don't you recall, Maud? So be a nice dear and take Miss Flora out to the garden for a bit, and we'll see to Mr. Finsbury and Mr. Crick.
Yes, ma'am. But Miss Sturgis, what if she asks to pick more roses?
Believe me, dear, she won't. Now off you go.
Lucille, what are you doing?
Don't you see, Maud? You have to prove that Miss Flora was still alive when Eleanor Huddle died.
But what will happen when Isabel returns with Miss Flora dead?
You act shocked and say she must have just died. That means Miss Flora died after Eleanor Huddle and therefore inherits the bundle. And 1/3 of the money for you.
But what will we say to them?
Not we. You have to pull it off by yourself. I can't be here when old Finsbury comes in with Agnes's husband. They know I work at the doctor's and might get suspicious.
Oh me, oh my, I guess you're right.
Of course I am. Just remember to act surprised. As for that little maid of yours, she won't have to act. Good luck, Mom.
Oh me, oh my. Mr. Finsbury, Mr. Crick, what a pleasant surprise. Please come into the sitting room.
Miss Sturgis, we need to speak to Miss Flora right away. I'm afraid it'll be a surprise for her, but not a pleasant one.
Miss Flora is at the moment enjoying the afternoon sunshine. Please be seated.
I thought you were sickly. Tonsils, isn't it?
Oh yes, indeed, how she suffers from her tonsils.
She ought to have them out.
Oh me, oh my, the poor thing. Her doctor doesn't think she would survive the operation.
I don't understand how she can be up and walking about it if she's supposed to be so sickly.
Oh, she hasn't walked these past few years. The new maid is supposed to push her about the garden.
I see.
Oh look, I believe they're returning this very moment.
Good, because we have pressing business with her.
How's your turn about the garden, Miss Flora? Miss Flora.
Miss Flora seems unusually quiet today, ma'am.
Oh, but she was just chatting away to me before the two of you left for a little garden stroll.
Miss Flora, I fear I have some bad news to relate to you.
Oh me, oh my, Mr. Finsbury. Nothing serious, I hope.
Dead serious.
Miss Flora? Miss Flora? It might be my eyes. I'm wearing the wrong specs, but she didn't seem to be responding to me.
Perhaps she has fallen asleep. The warm sunshine sometimes does that to me.
We'll wake her up. This is important.
If you insist, Mr. Crick. Miss Flora. Miss Flora, time to wake up.
What's the matter with her?
Perhaps your tonsils are active again. Miss Flora.
Miss Sturgis!
What is it now, Isabel?
I think she's...
I may be half blind, but I can see that this woman is dead.
Let me see. You're right, Miss Finsbury. Quite dead.
Oh me, oh my, but only 10 minutes ago she was as alive as can be talking about the roses in the garden.
Are you sure about that, Miss Sturgis? 10 minutes?
But of course.
Maybe she died of the new man was pushing her in the garden.
That must be it, Mr. Crick.
The timing is essential, Miss Sturgis. You say 10 minutes?
Oh me, oh my, maybe 8 or 9, but no more than 10.
And what do you say about that, young lady?
Nurse? Nurse? What's the idea of leaving a sick old woman alone like this? Nurse?
What is it, Grandma Huddle?
Where's the nurse?
The nurse? The nurse.
Yes, the nurse. Have you been taking too many of those headache drops again? I asked where the nurse was.
Oh, the nurse. Duncan told me to fire her.
Of all the foolish things. Agnes!
How did it go, Ma?
Oh me, oh my, what an ordeal. I thought I'd faint. I was so nervous.
Did your maid give anything away?
Oh no, she's the one who did faint.
Good.
I told them that Miss Flora must have died while Isabel was pushing her about the garden.
And did they believe you?
I think so. Oh, but that Mr. Crick wasn't happy about it at all. Not one bit.
Of course not. Everybody knows Duncan Crick married Agnes for the Huddle fortune.
Then they said something about a death certificate.
Dr. Witherspoon will take care of that.
Oh me, oh my, I hope nothing goes wrong.
What can go wrong, Ma? Miss Laura died after Eleanor Huddle. Think of the money you'll finally have.
I suppose I could retire and buy a nice little house in the village green.
Nice little house. You could buy the Huddle mansion if you wanted.
I can't recall what the will says about her house.
Where is the will?
In her dresser in her bedroom?
Let's go take a look at it.
If you think so.
Come on, Ma.
Ah, that's better. I'm always parched after a turn in the garden. Mom, I was really out for a while there. Dead to the world, you might say. Where are my roses? I distinctly remember arranging a vase of roses on this table here yesterday. Isabel, what happened to the roses? This new girl will definitely not do. I better get some fresh roses myself.
She's gone.
I wonder where she went.
Someone has stolen the body.
Who could have stolen the body?
Oh me, oh my, grave robbers.
I don't think she was stolen.
Grave robbers? She wasn't even buried yet.
Maybe the nurse took her.
Oh dear, Isabel's fainted again.
Not the nurse. I fired her.
Some water will revive her.
Fire the nurse?
Poor Isabel, let me try.
You told me to, and that is what I told Grandma Huddle when she asked for the nurse.
Not like that.
Talk to the lady.
Where am I?
I can talk with my grandmother if I want to.
You talked to her? Yes, she asked where the roses were.
Yes, she asked for the nurse once.
Ma, do you know what this means?
Agnes, do you know what this means?
What?
What?
If Miss Laura is still alive and Eleanor is dead, you're rich.
If the old woman is still alive and her cousin is dead, we're rich.
Miss Flora!
Grandma Huddle.
See, ma'am, she's still alive.
See, Duncan, she's still alive.
Put these in water. I'm exhausted.
My hands and feet are freezing that bed. Put this on the bed, Agnes.
Miss Flora, we thought.
Grandma Huddle, we thought.
Do as I say, girl.
We're so glad to see that you're feeling better.
What's my tonsils? I sort of blacked out there for a minute.
It's bad out of it.
You certainly
Certainly
have
had a
squirt
spray
there.
I thought you were gone for sure.
Well, stop your fussing.
I don't know what you're fussing about.
I'm sorry I fired the nurse, Grandma Huddle.
I'm sorry I tossed your roses out, Miss Flora, but the fresh ones look so much nicer.
I had kind of this dream when I was in college.
While I was out of it, I had this dream.
A dream? About what?
Money.
Oh, Grandma Huddle, you shouldn't be worrying yourself over such things.
Miss Flora, you shouldn't be getting upset over money. We'll manage somehow.
Sure you will. Who knows? Something might turn out.
Well, I'm thinking of making some changes in my will.
All the same, I think I'm going to change my will.
Your
Your
will?
Yes, the next time I see Henry Finsbury.
Yes, I should talk to Mr. Finsbury.
I don't think that's necessary.
Mr. Finsbury is a busy man.
Oh, here are my roses.
The front door was open and there was no one downstairs, so I just came on up.
Henry, who's the man we were talking
I
about?
talked to the coroner.
Corner, whatever for, Henry.
Eleanor?
Who has died?
I.
Henry!
Is he dead?
I wonder who's in his will.